All right, guys, so I want to talk to you about something today that I have seen fairly often with the Mathews bows, and that I think probably a lot of shops, maybe not, but a lot of shops are probably missing, or if you're experiencing frustrations with arrow flight out of your bow, make sure you watch this video because it's a simple fix, but it's something to be aware of. So the other day, well, this has happened a couple times, where we're tuning with a guy. He's shooting a full diameter arrow. There's a lot of guys around here gearing up for TAC or for like the Northwest Mountain Challenge where they're competing, so they want a little larger diameter arrow. So this is just a Victory V-Force. This is the same diameter as like a Easton 6.5 bow hunter or a gold tip hunter with blazer vanes on it. Now, a blazer is fairly average profile in terms of height. It's not short, it's not tall, but the center shot on Mathews, they say 13/16, right? Which is good. That is center. What I have noticed, and I'll show you here on this Vane, with a full size or full diameter arrow, is because their roller guard here, the roller guard is centered with the burger hole, these vanes literally pass right by this. Whereas on most other bows, like a Hoyt or something, this is actually fairly, an inch and a half higher up, and the vanes don't have any chance of contacting it. But you can see on this arrow right here, that little scuff mark. Sorry, I'm not on autofocus, but that little scuff mark on the vane. So this bow is in center shot right now, right at 13/16. This particular arrow, when it passes right there through the rest, is actually contacting that roller guard. Now, it's very slight, but it is going to cause you to basically false tune the bow because you're going to be getting a tail left, usually a tail left tear for a right-handed shooter. So a lot of people say, okay, well, I'll just rotate my vanes to where, I miss that, which sounds great, except particularly on the Hamsky rest here, now you're actually going to contact with your outside vane on the cage here. So you need that odd vane to be up or just slightly turned towards the riser to miss that roller guard. This, obviously the smaller diameter arrows, you will have less chance of this because the vanes are starting closer together. So the circumference of the three profiles of the vane is less as you go down in diameter. But with these full size arrows, you either need to take off this bottom cage and rotate your arrow 90 degrees, or you need to actually run that rest another 16th or so outside of center. Literally like probably 3 or 4 millimeters will do it. Now people go, oh, it's out of center shot. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't want to be way out of center shot, but you don't want to be, particularly with Mathews, I would always rather be a little outside of center than inside of center. 2 reasons for that. 1, clearance with your vanes. Also, it gives me a little better sight picture. If your rest is too far inside, that means my sight has to run further to the right. And with some sights, this riser will actually block off part of the ring. You see this a lot with Picatinny mounts as well, because the actual mount that goes around the riser kind of cuts into the ring of the sight. So if I run that sight a little bit outside, my rest a little bit outside of center, and again, this is not like, I'm not running it all the way to the edge of the riser here, but if I run it a little bit outside of center, you can still tune the bow to it, especially if you have the new Lift X, you can just move those cams, and then relative to where your rest is, your string is actually going to be lined up with your rest. So it's essentially centered, even though it's not centered on the riser. Your string and your rest are going to be aligned. Like I said, this is not something that is super common, but you can see, I'm going to try to focus this a little better. So this is like one of the demo arrows that we just tune with all the time to get a basic tune. And you can see on this, you see that little scuff? That's from the roller guard. So that's the inside vane, and it's just, you can see, it's literally like maybe 2 or 3 millimeters worth. But that is going to cause issues for you tuning, and then also just with arrow flight. We've had guys where they say, man, like it looks good through paper, but I'm just seeing funky flight downrange, and I look at it and I go, oh, yep, you've got contact right there. And then if they've rotated it to where it's not contacting, you can look on the inside of their rest cage right here, and you will actually see scuff marks, and usually the top of their odd vane that's hitting it will have a little black scuff mark there. Now, if you're just setting a bow up for like 3D and stuff, honestly, just take this cage off. There's no point for it. This is only if you're hunting to contain that arrow, you know, within that cage. You could take off the bottom cage, top cage, both, whatever. Like I said, if it's just going to be for target in 3D and you're shooting a larger diameter arrow, I would just remove that cage altogether, but really make sure that you are not contacting that roller guard at all. Now, again, this is kind of a Mathews specific deal because of the positioning of the roller guard here. It's directly in line with like where your arrow is sitting on the rest. You look at a bow like a Hoyt here, that roller guard sits well above where the rest is. So not really an issue there. Now, again, people might say, oh, well, people freak out about center shot. Like, it's not exactly 13/16. Center shot is where you start, right? And center shot will change based on the position of, you know, where you shim your cams. Now, if I run that rest a little bit outside of center, I'm going to have to follow that. Let's say that makes me shoot tail left through paper. I'm going to have to follow that with my cams in order to change that tear through paper, which then is aligning my string with the rest. So I don't think there's any real downside to running your rest a little bit outside of center. It gives you a better sight picture. It makes sure that you're getting clearance with your vanes on your cables and your cable or your roller guard. And really, like I said, I can't see a downside to it. So if you are working on your own stuff, or maybe you're a tech at a shop and you are having these issues, I would, you know, a lot of people try to correct a little tail left tear by moving the rest in, and then it actually gets worse. And they're like, what the heck? And it's because now they're smashing even harder into that. So just be aware of it. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to give the shop a call. I'm always happy to take a phone call and chat with things. Tuning can be a bitch sometimes. But anyway, hope that little tip might help you if you're having any issues. Please feel free to hit that comment section below and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And as usual, thanks for watching. Remember, precision is the decision. Keep them in the middle. I'll see you at the range.